Well, welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. Thank you to our veterans, and we are at the Veterans Hunt today in Hartstown, and we are starting off at the VFW here. So stick with us, this is going to be a great episode.
Today we have about 200 birds out there, so you should have plenty of opportunities to get some shots. I can give you opportunities, I can't make you hit the bird though, so that's up to you. Listen to your dog handlers, listen to your guides. They've done this before, they know how to work the property, get you as many opportunities as possible, so please listen to them. So while we're in the field, we want to emphasize safety, obviously. So, number one rule, do not shoot birds on the ground. We don't want any dogs getting shot. Dogs are fast, sometimes they jump up. We don't want to get any dogs shot. And obviously, we want to do the normal gun safety, know your target, know what's beyond your target. Stay in your shooting lanes, and keep everybody safe. That's the main thing today. Keep everybody safe. Work with the handlers. Go slow. They'll narrate the whole time what to do. The dog's birdie, get up here. So listen to them. They've done this before. They know what they're doing. So they'll put you in the right spot to get the opportunity. All right. So with that, if group one get together and get ready to get on the bus. We're gonna have some fun.
Way down. Again, stay in those nice straight lines. Let the dogs do the work. The handlers will tell you when the dogs are on a bird. You might be able to see it yourself, but listen to your handlers, please. Again, stay in a straight line. Be safe. Mind your surroundings, where the birds are, where you are, where the shooters are next to you, or hunters are next to you. Travel slowly. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want to pressure the dogs, they're going to be working. Yeah, you guys want to split up, like I said, 2, 3, because we got a little bit bigger of a field over there. Stay about 10 to 15 yards apart. Yep. Might have to get a little bit closer in some of this stuff, but yeah, let's go for it.
We have a rooster just laying right here. If you want to just keep coming on the path, we'll put a dog in there and hopefully it'll go that way. Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. Come here, Dixie. Come on, get in there. Get ready, get ready! Kill it! Good shot!
Hey, yeah, good shot.
Dead bird!
I see a rooster. Hold still, guys. There's a rooster right in front of you. No, she ain't. The rooster's standing right there. I can see him. Don't move. 20 feet from you. Huck, you gotta run right by it. It's 20 feet. It's about 10 feet in front of him. There's a bird right in front of me. Straight in front of me. Well, let's move up. It's right on this mode path here. Move up, move up. There it is, there it is. Runner. Runner. Right there. Coming at you. rooster coming back. That's a dead bird. There it goes.
Okay, good girl, Dixie. Come on.
She might be on that other. There it is. There it is. Right there, rooster, rooster! Oh, you son of a gun! I say I didn't even. There was one there too. Hey, yeah, good shot, good shot. Yeah, good shot.
And Joining us now, Andrew Hammersley. So, Andrew, can you talk for a second about your experience with the military?
Yeah, I can. I joined in 2013. I'm in Air Force Reserves currently at Niagara Falls. 914th CES is my unit.
So, how did it feel? I mean, what was it like?
Yeah, it's good. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. As far as I'm still currently in, so we're still doing good things, different travels around the world.
So what'd you think about the Veterans Hunt today?
The Veteran Hunt was awesome. It was a lot of fun, good guys. You got a good crew here running it.
There was a whole lot of veterans out today, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of folks out with their dogs to run and chase the birds up and whatever. Well,
yeah.
Can you talk about your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. They did outstanding. Everything was organized very well. Safety, huge concern. There was no problems there. Everything was just ran smoothly. Got a lot of birds up in the air and a lot of lead flying.
And you're gonna get a chance to taste some pheasant here.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for your service.
Yep.
Well, joining us now, David and Adina. So, tell us about your experience in the military.
Well, I learned on how to work on guns and how to put them together, how to utilize them, and then they sent me overseas a couple times for me to experience the why we have freedom.
So, using the gun over in the military, how was that working for using the gun for the Veterans Hunt?
Well, I guess I don't have to lead them quite as much back then as I do with the birds. I learned that you got to lead them a little bit more here.
Okay. Well, can you talk about your experience?
Sure. I was on a couple aircraft carriers, went deployed a couple times, and I'm back home.
So what was it like?
Cold at first, but I learned a whole new experience out at sea and learned a lot about ships.
So being out in the ocean is a whole lot different than being around on the ground, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
A little bit, but we still had a lot of aircraft that went over and a lot of deployable airmen that followed, and we had Marines on board as well, and there was a whole slew of us, just a big, what they call us, a straight group.
So what about your experience with the Veterans Hunt today?
Amazing. I want to do it again.
Oh, great. Well, I'm looking forward to doing that with you down the road.
All right, thanks.
Very good. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Now joining us is going to be Chef Lisa, and she's going to come up with a recipe so all these guys know what to do with their pheasants. So stick with us. That's coming up. Joining us now is Chef Lisa Beck. So Lisa, the Veterans Hunt, it was awesome. I told the guys, make sure to watch the show so you'll know what to do with your pheasant whenever you get it home.
That's right.
So another thing we talked about this before, but I did not borrow a pheasant from one of the guys. This was from hunting season, and we're getting low on them at our house. But they're never. I would never take from either from the youth hunt or from the veterans hunt. I would never take one from them.
And I can verify that this came from your freezer because I know Michelle has said it's always how many.
When I bone them up, that's what they look like.
That's right, and how many you've had in the freezer. I know you're getting low now, but I know you guys eat a lot of pheasant because the freezer is full. So yeah, and I'm glad that it went well. It's always a really nice.
It was excellent. It was really, really excellent. There were maybe 15 or 18 or whatever veterans out there, and I did interview a number of them, and it was great. It was great.
I love that. That and the youth. I mean, they're both great programs that you do. So
what was your idea for today?
We're doing pheasant soup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with veggies, and there's some healthy stuff. There's a little bit of stuff in there that might make it a little creamier that I wouldn't normally put in, but I think everybody will like it. So we're doing crock pot, which is nice.
Okay.
We have it set at high. And if you want to do this quick, you can do it in 4 hours and have it on high.
Okay.
If you have time, you could do 6 to 8. Like maybe if you're putting it in before you go to work.
Just leave it before you go to work, and then it's ready when you get home.
You would put it on a lower temp. So, so you would take essentially 1 to 2 pheasants, and I know you get all the meat off, so we're just using 1 today.
And that almost. I was telling you before about this thing. There was this thing, I looked it up on Facebook, and it's like you stand on the wings and you pull and you just take out the breast, and then you throw away you're throwing away half the meat. You're throwing away the other half of the meat. It's like that. And so instead of having a pound and a half like we normally have, you've got maybe 3/4 of a pound, something like that.
Exactly. So we don't really need 2 because 1 is sufficient, because we know that Dwayne gets everything off that bird.
You take the calves. You
That's
take
right.
You take the thighs. You take the off the wings. You take the meat off the back. There's meat, there's like meat in a little crossbone thing. You gotta pick meat all over.
That's
over
right,
the place.
because if you were in a situation where you didn't have any meat, that's where you're getting it from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
So you want to make sure you get every little bit out of it, which Dwayne always does. So I have our crock pot turned up, and we're just gonna. This is a pretty easy one. Okay. So we're gonna take the pheasant, and we're just going to put it in. And of course, Dwayne deboned it.
So you don't have to brown it ahead of time?
No, because you're going to cook it on high for 4 hours. Okay. So it's going to definitely cook.
So it will cook, that's for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then we're going to add everything in that makes it, it helps assist it in the cooking. So we have some chicken broth. You can do, this is an organic one, but you can do a low sodium, whatever you choose.
Okay.
And this is 4 cups. Believe it or not, there's 4 cups in here, and that's what you need. So we're just going to pour that in. And then we're going to add to that 2 cups of water. If you have, extra broth in the fridge, like I always do, because sometimes I don't always need this whole box, you can always add a little bit more, because you're going to put rice in here, and it is going to soak up some of the liquid. But it calls for 4 cups, and then 4 cups of chicken broth and 2 cups of water.
Okay.
So we get some liquid in there. Again, if you put a little bit extra in, I don't think it's going to hurt. I've done that before. So next, you're going to take a box of long grain and wild rice. And sometimes they have a flavor packet right mixed in, or sometimes it's separated. You're going to do the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just going to dump that in. And this has the flavor packet right in there. I know that's probably loud for sound. And then it calls for about a teaspoon of Lowry seasoned salt. There's a lot of sodium in that, so I only did a half.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we need that much. And then I cut up about an 8-ounce tub of mushrooms.
Okay.
And about a cup of cut up carrots.
Okay.
And then a cup of celery. Okay. And really, that's all you do. So we're going to put the lid on that. Oh, there's a couple in there. We want to get those out. There we go. We're going to put the lid on that, and I'll come back, during that 4 hours, and I might give it a little stir, but you don't really need to do anything.
Okay.
So that's, if you're going to put this on in the morning, stir it up before you put the lid on it, let it sit 6 to 8 hours, let it cook, and then we're going to finish it.
So if you're going to go like 8 hours or whatever, you turn the heat down
low,
a little bit lower? Okay.
Yeah, lower, medium, however yours is. Mine has a high, a low, and a warm. I wouldn't put it on warm.
So you put?
I put on low.
On low, okay.
Yeah. But for us, we wanted it 4 hours on high.
Okay.
Because we wanted it to get done quickly. So, but it's not finished. Okay, so we're going to make a roux, which is a fancy word for a thickening agent, and then we're going to add it at the end.
Okay.
Now, just so you know, we have another one that's cooking, so we were going to be able to do this, but we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll finish it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the next step, Lisa?
Okay, well, first of all, our viewers will notice that there's going to be a different crock pot out here.
Different crock pot?
Yes,
okay.
Only because we were cooking some of this soup prior so that we would have it ready. We didn't want to have to sit around and chit-chat for 4 hours. I mean, that would take up our whole day. So we're going to make the thickening agent. So what I have is a half a cup of butter. You can always lessen this. You don't have to use exactly a half a cup, but that's what we're using today. So that is going to melt, and once that's melted, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of flour, and you're going to really mix it with my good left-handed whisk.
Oh, I got it. That's right. I got to remember.
That's right.
Use my left hand.
That's
okay.
right. And then it's going to thicken up. We're going to add a little salt and pepper to it as well. And then we have 2 cups of half and half. Now you can substitute skim milk. You can put a little cream cheese. You can do however you want to make it thick. If you don't want to use half and half, or like a 1% milk, that would work even better. But I'm using what the recipe calls, and it's going to be good. So
this is melting fast.
Yeah, it should. We just don't want it to scorch. So just, you know, if you have to keep moving it, keep moving it. But what we'll do is, once we make this, what they call a roux, we will put it in the soup and let it cook for another 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then it's going to thicken the whole thing up, and you know, then it's our favorite time of the day when we get to taste it. So you know, it's all good.
I think that's everybody's favorite time.
I know it is. It is.
Every time I talk to somebody, that's all they want to talk about. They want to talk about your recipe and how.
Well, that's really nice. Well, they should be talking too about how nice the veterans hunt is, and the youth one, and you know, I'm sure they're learning a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I look back at some of the topics that we've done, and I mean, there's so much educational things that you've brought, you know, to the forefront. I think of like even the French Creek one, which everybody knows I get really excited about because I used to teach about it. But there's so much going on that you bring out, and I just luck out because I get to do the food to go along with it, and the tasting, and then, you know, feed my family. So it's
just
always
2 little crumbs here.
It's
left
always
that
good.
Are,
I'm going to turn it up just a little. So this is almost equal.
They're all gone now.
Okay, it's almost equal amounts. Like a lot of times you'll do to make this, to make a, you can do this to make gravy too. This is actually how I make my gravy. It's usually equal amounts of both. You can do a little less, which we did.
And of course you need to use your left hand.
And you have to use your left hand. So we're gonna add the flour, and Dwayne's just gonna mix it up. It's gonna get real thick and kind of weird. Pasty, but that's okay. That's what we want.
It is getting pasty real quick.
And we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. And we're just going to let that go. I turned it down. I didn't mean to do that.
It's already blended up.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, no. We're going to let it get a little higher temperature because I turned it down by mistake.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a little bit of liquid at a time, and you're just going to keep stirring because it's going to make like almost like a gravy. You know, this is, like I said, how I make gravy, but I use, instead of the half and half, I use the drippings.
Okay.
So it's exactly what I do. So we're going to add just a little bit. You're doing great left-handed, by the way.
This is blending it fast.
Yes, it is.
Maybe that's because I'm using my left hand.
I think it is. You know, that's the answer to everything. Just use your left hand. When you're shooting, use your left hand. I shouldn't say that because I think I shoot right-handed now that I think about it. I'm not sure, I can't remember. All right.
When we did the ladies' chucker hunt, you did some of the shooting left-handed, and then you did some of it right-handed.
I think I did. I think I did. Sometimes I'm not really sure which way.
You did some of each. Yes,
yeah,
you did some of each.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's the beauty of being ambidextrous, right? Although I do like my left-handed utensils.
Okay.
Okay. Let's give it a little more there, and you can see it's
blending.
Yes, it is.
It's almost looking like gravy.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to get thicker.
Okay.
It's going to be, you know, a thicker consistency.
Okay.
And I like using the whisk. A lot of people make gravy or roux and they use the shakers and they shake all the lumps out. I like doing this over, you know,
there's no lumps.
Medium-high heat with a whisk, and you don't have to worry about. It's very rare if there's ever lumps in the gravy because.
This is blending in really easily.
Yep. And then it'll thicken up as the temperature, you know, goes up. Because every time we add that, you know, it lowers the temperature.
It does seem to be thickening some, yeah.
Yep. That's what we want.
Okay.
Okay. A little more. And then the last time we'll put the rest of it in. And the butter, salt and pepper, I mean, it does add a little flavor.
It's all blended, it's all blending in here.
Yep.
I can see the little pepper flakes all blended through.
I'm going to add the rest, and we're just going to let you mix it, and then we might give it a minute. I made a mess here to sit for a minute to thicken up even more, because that temperature will, you know, cause it to thicken up some more. That looks great.
It does. It really does.
And I'm going to slide this over. I'm going to unplug it. And that's pretty hot.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Smells awesome.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna give it a good stir. I got some mushrooms stuck to the
One
side.
stuck on the side there, yeah.
Yep. Oh, but it's cooked up really nice.
It looks great.
I don't know if I can tilt it without. I'll probably spill it, so I better not do it. Okay, let's give it a second, Dwayne. You can just set that right in here. And I'm gonna get another. Well, we can use this spoon actually. You can see it's boiling a little bit.
It's just a little bubbly, yeah.
Yeah, it's been cooking. It's been cooking for 4 hours, so.
Okay.
Let's see how we look. It's bubbling a little bit.
This is bubbling a little bit here,
Yep.
too.
So that's what we're going to turn off, and I'm going to have you lift that over here. It's not hot on the handles, and we're just going to pour it in. You can see it's starting to thicken up on the bottom. I'm going to use that whisk, actually.
A little bit thicker on the bottom.
Yeah, well, you know, we let it sit for a minute. That's good.
Okay. How do I turn this off?
I have it off, but if
You did turn it off.
I did. If you want to set that right on here.
Okay.
And then we're going to let this go for about 15 minutes and thicken up even more, because it will with that heat. And then it's our favorite time.
Yay. Does it need the lid or?
Yep, we're going to put the lid on it.
Okay.
All right, let's try it.
So Lisa, this is awesome.
Thank you. That's great. And it's not too salty. Like I was concerned about that. You know, that's why I cut that Lowry seasoned salt down. And there was a little salt in the roux, but not at all. I mean, great flavor.
So I'm glad I told the veterans to watch the show, and there'll be a recipe for you. You can make this. They'll love this. They will love it.
And it's easy. It's not difficult at all.
It really was easy.
You know, if you don't want to thicken it up, you don't have to. We did. But yeah, it's a good one.
Well, Lisa, thanks for the awesome
You're
recipe.
welcome. And thanks for doing the veterans shoot. it's a great program.
I want to say thanks to the veterans for their service, A, and then for B, for coming out to the Veterans Hunt.
Absolutely.
And then secondly, I want to say thanks to all the volunteers. There were actually probably twice as many volunteers as there were veterans out there.
That's
for the thing.
fantastic.
So that was super.
Yep.
So, well, and thank you for the folks at home for joining us, and I'm glad you were able to join us today. And man, am I finishing my soup
Yeah,
here.
as always, we're going back to eat.
Yeah.